What you're looking at is the definite video guide for finding cash flow clarity and control in your business using just one thing, your cash flow statement. Hi, I'm Shishir. I'm financial transformation coach for female entrepreneurs who wants to scale the business fast. I've learned the process that I'm going to share with you today, working with entrepreneurs like you running uber profitable businesses from 40,000 to 40 million pounds in revenue. So let's get started. Cash flow statement 101. You'll see a lot of videos that talk about cash flow statements. This is not that one. This is for an entrepreneur like you. The cash flow statement is your power in your hands because it allows you to take 3 key actions to control your cash flow, which by means is controlling your business and controlling its success. These 3 key actions are managing your cash flow, which you can refer with the letter M, analyzing your cash flow, which you can refer with the letter A, and projecting your cash flow, which you can refer with the letter P. Because of these letters, I call it M.A.P method of controlling your cash flow. Once you do M.A.P, there is nothing left to do as far as understanding of cash flow goes. Now, let's see how to implement M.A.P method of controlling your cash flow in your business. Implementing M.A.P method with a cash flow statement. I remember when I first learned to drive a car. First, I learned in a very quiet and safe place when there was no one else around, there was no traffic, it was just me in a quiet place in a safe environment. First, I learned how to control the car using gears, pedals, accelerators, steering, brakes, everything. Once I knew how to control the car first, then I was comfortable moving ahead. It's the same in your business. You first learn how to manage cash flow because managing cash flow equals controlling your cash flow, and controlling your cash flow equals controlling your business. Once you know how to control the car, then you want to get on the road and drive slowly. At that point, your ability to scan the road and analyze the situation is really important. Otherwise, you may run into an accident. Similarly, in your business, you've got to be able to analyze cash flow and understand what has happened in the last 3 months, 6 months, or last year. When you analyze and understand past happenings, then this will help you to avoid cash flow problems and pitfalls in your business. You'll notice patterns, trends. This will help you to understand and anticipate what's going to happen to your cash flow in the coming months. And this understanding will help you to project your cash flow statement, which we're going to cover in the next step. Once you become confident in analyzing and scanning the driving conditions and traffic around you, then you feel like accelerating, and you also learn when to slow down depending on the traffic condition. And once you learn how to pace your vehicle, then you know how long will it take to reach your destination. The modern GPS has made it simple. However, your ability to scan the road and analyze the traffic condition is really important, and you choose whether to pass other vehicles or stay behind. In the same way, once you analyze cash flow, then you are in a good position to project cash flow, because by analyzing cash flow, you know exactly where you are in terms of cash position today. You know what has happened in the last 3 months or 6 months, and you are in a good position to predict what's going to happen in the next 3 months or 6 months. And that is really, really powerful. Now you know how M.A.P method works. You just need to implement it in your business. You don't have to understand it on your own. I'll be with you some more time to help you to understand with the help of an example. Meet Heather, the founder of Mega Profit Limited. An example from our business will help you to see and understand M.A.P method in action and give you clarity on how you can implement in your business. You'll see by implementing M.A.P method how Heather moved from cash balance from $80,000 on 1st of Jan 2020 to $180,000 on 31st March 2020. So let's start in the beginning. It's 1st of Jan 2020, a first day of the year as well as the first day of the new financial year. Heather is excited to start with the bank. Her financial coach brought forward cash balance of $80,000 to start with. Heather's trading experience reveals that January is the biggest month of the financial year. Heather wants to ensure she has at least $150,000 cash left bank balance at every single month. Otherwise, she'll start to feel concerned and worried about her cash position. She wants to cover at least 3-4 months of fixed expenses just in case business does not perform as expected. So she's very careful on how she spends cash in her business, and she's been keeping an eye on cash flow and especially weekly cash outflow just to ensure that she meets her monthly cash left bank balance of at least $150,000. Got to month 2 of the year. It's 2nd Feb 2020 and Heather had just received cash flow statement sent over from a financial coach. It shows that cash received in January were $158,750 and cash paid out were $85,000, and the carry forward balance on 31st of Jan 2020 were $153,750, of which $73,750 were from January and $80,000 were from carry forward from December. And the fixed expenses in January were $50,000 and cost of fulfillment in January were $35,000. Heather managed her cash flow well. This ensures the cash left bank balance is just above $150,000. So she's been able to meet her target of keeping cash flow bank balance of $150,000 in the month of January. So she's been able to control her business vehicle, i.e. the managing cash flow for the month of January. Cash flow under control. Now Heather wants to dig deeper. For this, she needs to analyze her January cash flow statement. From this, she can see that she's collected $65,000 out of $158,750 from Mastermind. Thanks to this insight, she is now committed to setting more of masterminds in the future. In terms of cash outflow, fixed expenses were $50,000 and $35,000 were for cost of fulfillment. She's noticed that fixed expenses have gone up by $10,000 in January, and she's very concerned that the increase in fixed expenses by $10,000 will hurt cash flow. But she's glad she did this exercise, otherwise she wouldn't have figured out two things, which are she needs to spend more time and energy setting masterminds, and she needs to analyze further why fixed expenses were increased by $10,000 in January, and more importantly, what she can do about it. Now Heather has analyzed her cash flow statement. She needs to move on to the next step of M.A.P method, which is projection. In order to project cash flow statement for the month of February, she needs to reflect current market conditions as well as a look at the previous month's cash flow reports. Her debtors report reveals that the customer owes her $100,000 as of today, of which $85,000 are due by end of February. She also looks at the creditors reports and she needs to pay $80,000 as of today, and she selects suppliers and respective balance to pay, and it comes to $75,000. So she updates the cash flow projected statement like this. Opening bank balance on 1st of Feb 2020, $150,750, which is the closing bank balance on 31st Jan 2020. Cash to collect from customers of $85,000 and cash to pay suppliers $75,000, which leaves his projected cash flow balance of $160,750. Let's meet Heather again in March. It's 1st of March 2020 today, and Heather had just received cash flow statement for the month of February from a financial coach. It shows that the business received $80,000 out of possible $85,000 from customers, and businesses paid $75,000 as projected. So the cash left bank balance were $158,750 instead of projected $160,750 on 1st of Feb 2020. She goes to the M.A.P methodology to understand again how well she has managed cash flow for the month of February. She does further analysis to understand the differences compared to January, Then she present cash flow statement for the month of March. It's 1st of April 2020 and Heather had just received cash flow statement from a financial course for the month of March. It shows that the business received $101,250 and business paid $80,000 in March. So the cash left bank balance were $180,000 at the end of March 2020. Now you can see how the business moved from $80,000 from 1st of Jan 2020 to $180,000 at the end of March 2020. Now Heather has 3 months of cash flow statement on a month by month basis. Not only she can review what's going on a monthly basis, she can also use cash flow statement what has happened in the past quarter, i.e. January to March, and also use as a base for subsequent quarters. In order to do this, Heather analyzed cash flow statement for quarter 1 2020. Among the many patterns of cash inflows and outflows, one thing is so noticeable. She notices that the reason behind Mastermind program is so successful is because she switched from Google ads to Facebook ads in middle of January 2020 and it worked really well for her. She feels the power of using cash flow statement has given her clarity, control, confidence, certainty and ability to communicate about her business numbers. Let's see how. Heather found clarity because she knows about the products she needs to focus on. She also has a clear understanding of fixed expenses per month and whether she has enough cash to cover for the next 3 or 4 months if the sales slow down. This understanding will save her business from potential cash flow collapse like 82% of small businesses. Heather feels in control because she now stays on top of cash payments every single week. She has cash outflow under control. She knows exactly how much cash she needs to collect by end of the month at the beginning of the month so that she can delegate the job to someone else to ensure it happens. All these insights and resulting actions have made it sure that the cash balance left at the end of the month stays above $150,000. Heather is certain she's been going through the cash flow statement every month, mapping cash flow. Thanks to this, Heather's ability to project cash flow as well as predict future cash balance has improved significantly. This has provided her certainty in her business. She can now rely on future cash inflow to cover future cash outflow. She can sleep soundly without worrying about what might happen in the future. Heather can communicate the numbers. Thanks to being up and close with numbers and understanding them like never before, Heather can now talk the language of business in terms of cash flow and profit. With this newfound ability, she can now reach out to her investors and her financial coach. She can think of raising finances to grow her business if she wants to. When she talks to her investors, she can communicate her value propositions better to investors. Heather's ability to talk numbers has made life easy for her as well as for financial coach. Now, Heather thinks she and her financial coach are part of the team where her financial coach is helping her to reach her financial goal. When she talks with the bank, she knows exactly how much she needs to borrow, if she needs to borrow, and when, and for how long. Heather is confident by learning to manage, analyze, and project her cash flow. Heather's confidence is soaring high. She is now a confident entrepreneur who knows exactly what's going on with her cash flow at all times. She can take crucial decisions not based on hunch alone, but are grounded in numbers. She just decided to hire a helping hand, which will free her time immensely. She knows she is covered for the next 3 or 4 months, and her projected cash balance will still be above $150,000. There's a calm, there's a peace of mind in her, and there's no longer the fear of unknowns and the fear of failure. She's happy to have found M.A.P method on time because there is no room for cash flow mistakes when 82% of small businesses fail because either of poor understanding or poor management of cash flow. She's happy to be 18% businesses that thrive because they know the cash flow in and out. You can be the next cash flow champion like Heather You can have the same clarity and certainty as her. You can be confident knowing your numbers and feel in control of your business. And you can raise funding for your business if you want to unlock the values of your business. And more than anything else, you can survive when times are tough and thrive when times are really, really good. Wouldn't you like that? If you got value from this video, then like it and share it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell right now so that you do not miss out on future new videos which I publish every Tuesday at 4 p.m. GMT. Your comments are my oxygen, so don't forget to comment below. I respond to them all. Now, I would like to turn over to you. How are you going to use M.A.P methodology in your business? I want to see your results. Post your results, how you find cash flow clarity, control, and improve cash flow in your business. I would love to see your results.